again, dissolving trade with me. A few more turns of expanding, they all want to trade again. The randomness of it all is incomprehensible. Good for fucking you if you luck out and a game works for you. It shouldn't simply be a matter of pot luck. Paradox Games diplomacy works so well because they tell you why everything is happening. Will you join this plot to kill your king? No? Why not? Hover over and see. They love the king. They have moral qualms about murdering people and they hate you. Why don't they like me? Because I'm a lecherous drunk who's possessed by Satan and I executed their children. Okay, I understand the AI's rationale. If they liked me more or had more reasons to kill their king, they would accept. Rome2's, however, doesn't run by any understandable rules. So it's impossible to predict and manipulate. Something that's kind of fucking necessary in a strategy game. I know they have those fucking modifiers when you hover over them. The problem is that whether the AI will accept or decline something is entirely random. Their diplomatic score with you provides no bearing as to whether or not they will accept trade or alliances or anything. The diplomacy all comes together slightly worse. The new additions of defensive alliances, non-aggression pacts don't make up for the stripped features. The simple peace treaty cooldown timer before declaring war, or being forced to honour an alliance or lose reputation with every faction, made Shogun 2 much more interesting to play in. Blindly accepting everything that came your way would leave you in a very shitty position, because whilst it would be suicide to join the war for a one-settlement faction against the Ashikaga Shogunate, refusing means your daimyo loses that last precious tick of honour because you kept letting him rape and pillage settlements. The lost honour means mass public order problems, unlikely to ever get another faction to negotiate with you because they now know you're a two-faced jackal. The AI was still quite stupid, but it was possible to form alliances people would honour, broker a peace that wouldn't be instantly broken. Yes, I know getting trade was ridiculous in that game, but you just needed some resources, then they were happy to trade with you. The only feature that even comes close to making up for the removals is the war target system, where you get to click on one enemy settlement on the map and tell all the AI to go for it. It hasn't worked once for me though. The diplomacy is simply worse. First off, combat animations for the armies on the campaign map are really cool. Having different and varied ones for losing horribly, losing closely, winning brutally are great touches. Being able to retrain units to give them buffs from a newly built weaponsmith is bloody handy as well, but it's ridiculously expensive, sometimes more expensive than buying the unit again. Armies have to be led by generals to move, recruit and fight. Instead of just moving the units around willy-nilly, you form a regiment, and that regiment is now there forever, and you can recruit units into it and hire generals for it. What you can recruit depends on the buildings in the province or the mercenary types in that region. Mercenaries are recruited instantly. Now, these regiments have been capped depending on how many provinces you have. This is being Creative Assembly's attempt to streamline the game into a more focused game experience. The reasoning behind that, I hear, is that Creative Assembly have taken statistics from Shogun and said players auto-resolve 80% of the battles. They obviously hate battles. We'll make them faster and try and reduce the amount of sieges in the game. Well, of those statistics, I'm wondering how many were battles that were obvious victories or obvious defeats. Also, they probably didn't want to play most of the battles because loading times in Shogun were atrocious. People auto-resolve so many battles in Total War because we aren't needed there to win them. They're challengeless almost all the time. The only reason I do any of them is because Total War calculates auto-resolve like a dyslexic parrot. Anyway, their idea was to make sieges less important by removing walls from most of them and reducing the garrisons, and restricting armies so that if you lost a big battle, it was all over. My problem with how it was implemented is that the money is roughly the same, and there was never really a point where I had enough money to overstep or even approach my army's limit if I was fielding full banner armies of dedicated troops. A better way to make the game more decisive would have been to give the armies the 40 unit slots so that the players and the AI would have most of their forces consolidated into one stack. All it really does is handicap you at endgame and how you strategically send units around. Restricting the game in this way was stupid. The generals should have been incentivized, not enforced. Having leaderless armies being super susceptible to agents in all the other Total Wars